All right, so today we're going to be doing what is called a crisis functional assessment and plan. And I know that's a lot of words, so really what that is we're trying to figure out the why behind whatever the crisis behaviors are so that we can figure out how to replace the crisis behaviors with a replacement that is a healthy and safe outlet. So we're gonna make a plan that, and I really want to hear your thoughts on what this is, what you think might be contributing to some of this, so that we can make sure that you're safe and you have the tools that you need, and that the people around you know what to do as well.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and get started. Do you know what crisis means?
Yeah, like sometimes when I get upset, I become a little violent and break stuff, and people get scared, and so I think that's pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How often would you say that happens?
Pretty regularly, maybe twice a week.
Okay. Okay. And if you had to put a number on how rough these things were, like how intense, if 1 is not bad at all and 10 is the worst it's ever been, where would you put it in there?
Sometimes it's like a 8 or a 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so you said that's like violent, throwing things.
Yeah, hitting people, punching
Okay.
stuff,
Okay.
like breaking a lot of things at my residential facility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long does that usually last?
Not real long. Maybe like, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Tramel, how would we know that this crisis plan is working?
The one you guys helped me make with my grandma?
Well, yeah, and this is actually going to help us. This functional assessment will help us update that plan. And I know we've had to update it a few times in the past when it really didn't work. So how will you know when, okay, this plan worked?
I'll be able to like call my grandma or talk to the staff at the residential facility to help me calm down before like I start breaking stuff and throwing things.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, so I know you talked a little bit about what the behaviors look like, but one of the things about this that's really helpful is to try and figure out what happens before you get to that point. And so, just from your perspective, what or who tends to make things worse?
When I like am feeling upset, if someone like tries to put their hands on me, even if they're just trying to calm me down, I hate that. I can't stand that.
Mm-hmm.
When people try to take things that belong to me, and they don't tell me exactly why, like that really pisses me off.
Mm-hmm.
And just being told what to do, like I'm a teenager, I know what I need to do, don't talk to me like I'm a child. That really makes me upset. And just like sometimes other kids, they talk junk, and when we're playing games, and sometimes that makes me really upset.
Yeah, I can understand that. Absolutely. So those are what we call setting events. And that means they kind of set the scene, and that when those things are happening, that will likely lead to this crisis situation, right?
Makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions, feel free to stop me. Okay, so that kind of sets the stage for that. But is there anything that happens right before you just want to throw something or hit someone?
sometimes like I bite down on my teeth, like I'm clenching them really hard because I'm angry and I'm trying to like fight the urge to hit somebody. I ball up my fist. Sometimes I get a little warm. I know like I start breathing a little hard, so that's how I know like I'm about to explode.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you can tell when you're about to get to that point. Okay. All right. Well, then how do you know when you're calming down? Do you know that too, or?
I'm able to calm down after like I like break things or hit things. Like I just need that physical release to help me calm down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So, and I know we've done some crisis plans before. What didn't work for you when people were trying to help you calm down? What didn't work?
Like when I'm upset, if people are trying to tell me calm down and do this and do that, it doesn't work. Like I need people to like leave me alone and give me space. So telling me to do this and do that does not work. It doesn't try to calm me down. And when people are trying to say, "Oh, you should have did this and you wouldn't have gotten in trouble," okay, that doesn't help me at all. Like, don't try to stop me when I'm already in the act. It's not gonna help.
Yeah, I can see that. So basically, when they're using their words, really, it's not helpful to you. Was it when anybody in particular, like, is there somebody who would try and help, but they just
like the staff at my residential facility? Yeah.
Okay. And it sounds like it didn't work because you weren't in a place where you could listen to them. Is that right?
Yeah, I was too upset.
Okay. Has there ever been a time where something did work, where somebody intervened or you did something and the crisis didn't happen?
When my grandma like talks to me, she's really calm and sweet, and I know she cares, so I like listen to her. Or my old therapist, she was really, I trusted her, and I don't know, like ladies, I'm more responsive to women than to men.
Okay, well that's really good to know. So, and that's worked for you, it sounds like. Pretty consistently. Okay. Is there anything else that helps make things better that you have tried and you know work?
Walking away or just like taking space to myself, like being away from other people is really helpful. Like people just giving me my space and letting me take a break.
Okay. All right. This is all very helpful. So we already talked a little bit, so that was all sort of the prevention part where we know what's going on before the crisis happens. So the next part, and you can see right here, is the early intervention, so when you're already in the crisis. So you already described what it looks like and feels like when you're in the crisis, the breathing hard and the clenching the jaw. And then you said that the behavior is calming when you've gotten that release. Is that right? Okay. So, I guess one thing that is really helpful for us to know is, what does that physical release do for you?
It lets me get out like all the feelings I have, like when I'm upset or sad. I don't really like to talk about it. I'd rather just let it out by breaking things and hitting things. So it's really me just expressing myself, expressing my emotions, like when I'm sad or mad or just unhappy, not feeling good about myself.
I absolutely understand that. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and we'll talk about what happens after the crisis, and then we'll go through and make a plan for each of these sections. Okay. So then the third phase, if you look over here, it's the after. So what happens after you have one of these crisis situations and you get that physical release? What happens afterwards?
The staff are like all in my face, but they do like try to give me that time by myself. So sometimes I'm isolated because I've gotten in trouble. But I'm definitely getting more attention from everyone.
Okay. Okay. And is that which do you prefer? Do you like the extra attention, or would you rather just be by yourself?
I'd rather be by myself.
Okay. And does that usually happen once staff is not in your face anymore?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they do leave you alone? Okay. All right. Is there anything else we missed before we move into the plan?
No, not really.
Okay. So we'll start with the prevention section. So what do you think some things are? I heard that getting your space and your time from staff at the residential sounds like that needs to be a pretty important step of the prevention plan.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you think that would help you keep, like, it would help prevent you from getting to that point where you start breathing hard and clenching your teeth?
I think if they let me like call my grandma when I know someone was pissing me off, just to talk to her, it'll help. Or like if they gave me like an area to myself, like if I knew I was getting upset and I was able to go there and be alone, like I could just be alone there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think those sound like really good ideas. And I also heard that using a soothing tone of voice would be helpful. So maybe if we can see if staff can try and give you whatever redirections they need to in a different tone of voice.
Yeah.
Okay. And instead of being told what to do, are you the type that likes to get options?
Yeah, I feel like I'm too old at this point for people to continue to tell me, do this, do that. If you say, would this be more helpful than this, I respond to that better.
Okay, that's really good to know. We can definitely write that in the prevention plan. Okay. Okay, and then we already talked about taking space, and you feel like you're about to escalate. Okay?
Yeah.
Does this sound like a good plan?
Yeah, it sounds real good.
Okay, so now we're gonna make a plan for the early intervention part. So say we tried all of these, the prevention steps. So this is the next step. So if those didn't work and you're still feeling like you're going to, and you said that you need that way to express your emotions and get that physical release. So what behaviors do you think would still get you those feelings of release that wouldn't necessarily hurt anybody or cause property damage?
Maybe I can still get a bit of time to myself. Or like I really like when I was a kid, I really liked working with Legos, and like I could focus on it and all of my attention would be there. So like focusing on that would take my mind off what made me mad. Or I could talk to somebody there, somebody who'll listen and not try to tell me what to do in that moment. Somebody at the residential facility.
Okay, so instead of telling you what not to do, somebody who can listen so you can get those emotions out and feel the release.
Sometimes too, I like to exercise.
Okay.
So like if they trust me to like go to the gym, or somebody can even watch me like stand at the door or something, like I could work out for a little bit.
And do you think that would meet that need of that physical?
Yeah, because I need to get it out. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything specific you'd want to do at the gym?
I like running on the treadmill. I like doing